You are currently judging yourself for a choice that you feel completely powerless to control. You are a smart, capable, and logical human being, yet you keep returning to a person who has systematically destroyed your peace. You leave, you promise yourself you are done forever, and weeks later, you find yourself right back in the exact same toxic loop. You look in the mirror and call yourself weak. But you aren't weak. You are trapped inside a severe biological hostage situation called a trauma bond. A trauma bond is not a healthy emotional connection. It is a ruthless neurochemical addiction that hacks your brain's survival hardware. Covert manipulators do not bind you to them by using constant cruelty. They bind you by using the exact same mechanics as a slot machine. They use intermittent reinforcement. They alternate between extreme validation and sudden, unpredictable emotional starvation. This structural unpredictability causes your brain to release unprecedented levels of stress hormones and pleasure chemicals in a chaotic cycle. Your intellect knows this person is actively ruining your life, but your nervous system treats them like a vital drug required for your survival. To break the cage, you have to look past the excuses and map out the exact loop that keeps you paralyzed. The trauma bond operates in 3 distinct, highly predictable phases. The first phase is the invisible buildup of chronic tension. You feel the emotional temperature drop. You spend weeks walking on eggshells, hyper-vigilant, trying to prevent an explosion you know is coming. This prolonged state of fear completely floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Your nervous system is locked in high-alert survival mode. Then comes phase 2, the explosion. They execute a massive gaslighting attack, a sudden discard, or a cruel, weaponized, silent treatment. Your world shatters. The sudden drop in connection triggers severe emotional panic, mimicking the physical pain of actual starvation. But just as you reach your absolute breaking point, the manipulator transitions instantly into phase 3, the rescue. They suddenly return with intense affection, deep apologies, or a tiny breadcrumb of attention, and your brain experiences a catastrophic chemical event. The sudden transition from extreme cortisol terror to instant dopamine relief causes an artificial chemical spike that is more addictive than any narcotic. This extreme chemical whiplash physically alters your neural pathways. It deeply burns in the belief that this specific person is the only cure for your pain. You become completely addicted to the relief of the reconciliation phase, entirely forgetting that they are the one who caused the trauma. This neurochemical addiction forces you into the second trap of the bond, the sunk cost fallacy of potential. You look at the months or years of intense emotional labor you have invested into trying to fix this broken relationship. Your brain tells you that if you just hold on a little longer, or if you change just enough, all that historical pain will finally pay off. You aren't actually fighting for the person standing in front of you today. You are fighting for a ghost from the love-bombing phase. You are deeply in love with their potential. You are living your life out of a glossy travel brochure of a future that they will never actually build. Every time they treat you badly, you look backward. You tell yourself, I know how good they can be, using past memories to validate current abuse. You accept accountability for their actions. You convince yourself that if you can just find the perfect words, the mask will stay on forever. But potential is a currency that doesn't exist. You are funding a catastrophic corporate deficit using your own finite sanity. You are waiting for a return on an investment that has a guaranteed 0% payout. And the cost of waiting is your entire life. But when you finally look away from the fantasy, you are confronted by a terrifying, silent glitch that drags you right back. This is the most counterintuitive part of the bond, the boring glitch. Why does genuine safety feel so incredibly uncomfortable to you? After months of high-intensity emotional whiplash, your nervous system's baseline is completely calibrated to a state of survival. When you finally meet a safe, consistent human being, there is no chaos, no danger, and no hypervigilance. Your brain interprets this peace as a vacuum. There are no massive cortisol spikes, which means there is no delayed dopamine payoff. Your broken wiring registers this lack of friction as a lack of chemistry. You say there is no spark, but what you call a spark is actually just your trauma response recognizing a familiar danger. When you try to leave the toxic person, you go into acute chemical withdrawal. You experience profound emptiness, severe anxiety, and physical lethargy. Your brain tricks you into thinking this withdrawal pain is absolute proof that they are your one true love. It screams at you to go back just to stop the pain. You aren't missing a soulmate. You are experiencing a clinical detox from a highly dangerous biological chemical dependency. If you do not recognize this glitch, you will spend your entire life trading real peace for the familiar safety of an ongoing disaster. Breaking the bond requires you to endure the withdrawal without looking for an escape hatch. To permanently shatter the trauma bond, you must first destroy the single greatest illusion of all, the closure myth. Stop putting your recovery on hold while waiting for an apology, an explanation, or a final conversation. They will never give it to you. You do not need answers to heal. The fact that they were perfectly willing to destroy your mental health is the only answer you will ever need. Step 2. Execute absolute, unconditional radio silence. No checking their social media, no asking friends how they are doing, no keeping old photos. Every single time you look at their profile, you drop a fresh token into the slot machine. You reset your brain's withdrawal clock back to 0. Step 3. Commit to the void. When the emptiness hits, when the anxiety screams at you to text them, sit in the discomfort. Let it burn. That pain is not a sign that you made a mistake. That pain is the physical sensation of your neural pathways slowly resetting themselves to reality. Choose the boring peace over the magical chaos. Train your nervous system to recognize consistency as safety and unpredictability as poison. You are not a rehabilitation center for broken adults. Your life is not an unpaid laboratory experiment for an algorithm. Drop the rope, break the bond, take your mind back.